Weeks Gaming Network.
Alright guys, you ready?
Darkzone?
Yep.
Please, let's have that conversation. So far, we want to keep it in a dark zone, keep it in check.
Remember, when we get in there, it might not be just us.
Oh, hold up behind us! Other players.
Bastards.
They have Darkzone loot.
Huh. Should we go for it?
I don't know. We can't take them and the Rikers at the same time.
Good point. Let's just see what they do.
Trust nobody. They will betray you.
What we are capable of doing.
I mean, it's perfect. Yes, we know cheating is a thing. We are working on improvements, some for Project Resolve, some for later in terms of detection, in terms of...
Alright, all jokes aside, yo, what is good? It is finally January 2024. Happy New Year's to everybody. Hope everybody is doing okay. I just want to take a moment and talk about Project Resolve and some of the PvP changes coming to the Dark Zone that I'm personally looking forward to, and start an open dialogue with the community and seeing if you guys want to try Dark Zone or coming back with Project Resolve.
First, prevent the overuse of status effects, and also allow players to have counters and to react.
Oh my god, yo, I know I wasn't the only player that almost fell out my seat when they made that announcement right there. I feel like the Division developers are finally back in town, focused on the game and the Dark Zone. I'm glad Avatar is out and they can focus on the Division. This game has such great potential, and I feel like with this patch coming up, it's going to open up the door for hybrid status DPS builds. I'm looking forward to making some myself, and I know it's going to go crazy once we put them out. I can't wait to see what players come up with this new patch. This is going to bring so much diversity. The gameplay is going to be lit.
What to do is we're going to say, when you're dodge rolling, when you're under a burn effect, this is going to actually diminish the effect that you have on you. So,
see, I thought we already had stop, drop, and roll in the game. From D1, I've been rolling around here looking stupid, I guess, because we can't even put ourselves out rolling around. But that's smart. I'm glad they're finally taking that from real life. And I hope a lot more video games start taking aspects from real life, like rolling around when you're on fire. That's common sense. Stop, drop, and roll, bro. Like, why do we other games like Grand Theft Auto and other fighting games, shooting games, incorporate mechanics that happen in real life? That's high IQ thinking right there. That makes the game way more engaging than just, oh, I'm on a status. Now I'm on a status and I can do something about it besides hitting a med kit. That's really intelligent. Stop, drop, and roll. Really about to be the thing out here in DZ, boy. They need to put out a t-shirt for that one. That'd be hilarious when you see a player catch fire and they gotta roll around. But what I want to see come back is some of them D1 hazardous events. That used to have a lot of gear and get really engaging with everybody in the server. I really want to know. I'm not sure how coding works, but is that possible to bring hazardous events back into D2?
primary focus has been the PvP combat. It's been really trying to make encounters from player to player to feel better, to feel more balanced, and to allow to not it just be about whoever shoots first, but actually allow for counters and for opportunities to react and to turn it around.
That is very true. Division 2 PvP is lacking when it comes to player-to-player engagement, and I feel like that is due to the fact that there's really no build diversity. Everybody tends to gravitate towards the strongest things in PvP, which is the meta builds or a strong skill status build, which kills build diversity. Once the developers get a chance to make all builds fun again or incorporate mechanics to help these other builds, I feel like the PvP engagements will pick up.
Bleed, for example, what we're saying is if you don't move when you bleed, you're going to also actually reduce the intensity of the bleed. But when you start moving, then it goes in full effect. Now,
that aspect of bleed in gameplay, I never thought about being used like that. That is very unique, and that's one thing I got to applaud Master for. When they come up with ideas, it is crazy. You have to stand still in order to not take the full effect of the bleed, but standing still can get you killed in the dark zone. So you have to really be thinking about, okay, if I get around this corner, can I use a kit right here and be safe? Can my friends protect me long enough to get this kit? Like, bleed is going to change it up when it comes down to PvP combat. And I'm looking forward to experiencing that. I want to know how the player base is feeling about that. Are you looking forward to the new bleed change mechanics or nah?
Is that all the repair skills will now give you protection. So what that means is that with an application of a healing skill or repair skill, you're going to get 50%.
50% off a heal sound crazy to me right now, and that's going to open up a door for people like me to incorporate a lot more crit chance and crit damage in our hazard builds. But I want to know how status effect players are feeling. Y'all feel like that's an unfair trade-off? Do you feel like you're going to be able to bring gunplay into some of your status builds? Are you going to make a hybrid status DPS build to try to trade off for some of the damage you're losing? Like, let me know in the comments how y'all feeling about that change. Do you feel like it's a fair trade? Do you feel like it needs to be looked at to be turned down to like 40 or 35% instead of a full 50% off heal? And how long do you think it's going to last for?
Also, as an example, shock, for example, right? Player will have slower movement to kind of make sure that they prevent from shooting, but it's PvP only. It won't apply in PvE.
Yeah.
And same for the Plague of Outcast, also going to be PvP only.
Yeah.
Now, shock has been the bane of every death I've taken since the St. Elmo's has dropped. But I really want to know what type of gameplay is going to be able to be pulled off when we have slower movement. And she said something about still not being able to shoot. I'm not sure. I got to watch some beta gameplay. I really don't like to spoil the first time experience I like to have when it comes to gaming. But I'm going to start doing a lot more research when it comes down to these betas. Even though I'm not on PC, I want to know what's going on in the Division community. So I want to know how you guys are feeling about shock. Do you feel like shock's too strong? Do you feel like that's a good little thing, be able to still move?
Now you're actually going to be able, if you want, to consume an armor kit and to get an instant heal of 25% of your armor. So you can still hold the button to get, the hold action, and then you get the full armor. Or you can decide to, I'm not sure if it's double tap or what the control is, but you can choose to actually consume it for an instant 25% heal, which in PvP is also hopefully going to allow you to get that quick heal and roll your way out of combat and then turn the situation around.
It's actually here. It even says that the bonus applies even after the animation finishes. So
honestly, this change right here makes me feel like the devs really want to see some Division 1 gameplay brought back into Division 2. I don't know why the long med kit was incorporated. I do think it was due to some type of hacking thing going on in Division 1 where people were insta-kitting. I'm not sure. I didn't encounter too many hackers. But that really makes me feel like they want Division 1 gameplay back. They want to see them quick heals, people being able to fight 2 or 3 people at one time. And I miss that about Division 1. It's kind of trash to me that I have to run away and get a kit that takes so long to put on. And most of the time I don't even get the kit. So yeah, I hope they do actually fix whatever bug is going on, that when you put on a kit in cover at times, you can roll away and still get shot in that same spot. Your body's actually not in the location no more, but yet the player is shooting into the corner that you were in seconds ago and still taking away a massive amount of health or even putting you down. I'm not sure if that's desync or whatever they have going on with the med kits and not actually getting them sometimes, but I hope that be addressed for Project Resolve. I'm really tired of applying a med kit and still saying I have 4 kits after watching the full animation, or losing the kit and not even getting anything. I'm not sure if I'm the only player dealing with that. Let me know in the feedback. Are you getting all your med kits? Are you actually being able to hold that button and receive the full kit? That's been a problem for me for a while. I have to sometimes apply it twice to actually get it to work the first time.
With the Darkzone, one thing we want to change is that we really want to try to push the identity of the Darkzones, especially the invaded Darkzone and the non-invaded, to try to find the best compromise between offering a really intense PvP, rogue versus agent chase experience, and that's going to be mostly in the invaded Darkzone, and then the non-invaded Darkzone being something that is a bit milder for players that are not necessarily looking for this kind of fights. There will still be PvP in the Darkzone. We are not taking it away.
I honestly believe the devs are trying to turn the non-occupied DZs into like PvE training grounds so players can understand how to come into PvP and get the grasp of the concept and maybe actually enjoy it themselves. Honestly, I think that's a good idea because it's a whole lot less sweaty in here in the Darkzone than it is in that conflict lobby, bro. And I'm going to let y'all know now. You think Division Darkzone is hostile, bro? Go in conflict. You're going to be up in there with socks and a tank top only. It is that sweaty in there. Them boys in that lobby going to put you through it. You're going to be up in there wiping your eyebrows every 4 seconds. I'm not lying.
What's important is, again, about loadouts. Once you go rogue in the non-invaded Darkzone, once you go rogue, you can no longer change loadout.
Honestly, I'm not looking forward to this change at all. I'm not too happy about it because I like to swap gear upon my situations I'm in, and knowing I'm losing that ability is gonna make me have to work harder to keep my manhunt. It's gonna make me have to think a lot more instead of being like, oh, he's got this, let me swap to this. I'm actually have to come up with a strategy or idea to get around that player now instead of just being able to swap a build and beat them right away. Yeah, that's gonna be a heavy change for me.
We're going to make the hold to go rogue longer. So it's from, what are the values here? Was 0.75 seconds, now it's going to be 5 seconds. So you actually have to commit. You really have to go in hiding and hold that button. So it's no longer just a surprise behind the back of another player and shoot them.
Is the invaded dark zone going to be more rewarding?
Yes.
5 seconds may not be a lot of time, but any extra time is a good time in my book. So I'm gonna just be like this. There's a lot of things to look out for when it comes to being in the dark zone, and being aware of other players in your landmarks is key. That extra 5 seconds is not a lot of time, but it will give you a little more situational awareness, what we call SA around here. And that's just being aware of who's around you, what's going on, if you're hitting the box or if you're trying to put your bag on the rope, knowing what the player's intentions are around you, or being aware that they may not have the best intentions for your health in the dark zone. So just be aware, keep your head up.
Will the expertise be removed from dark zone? I don't think we discussed it.
No, we mentioned it. No, the change to expertise and shade levels is only planned for conflict. Dark zone, on the other hand, this is the PvPvE experience where we think it's okay if you spent a lot of time in the game and you are more, by definition, more powerful than another one. You deserve to, have that power be represented in the dark zone.
In my opinion, yeah, the dark zone is a lawless land. We should keep our expertise. Like, we should not be having limits in the land that we're coming into to experience the craziest amount of PvP. Expertise is not giving that much of a bonus anyway. I've been playing for a while, and I thought around when I got to level 15, I will be hitting extremely hard. I'll be knocking everybody down because I have this amazing expertise 15 weapon, and I got there, and it didn't do anything for me. I still had to realize at the end of the day, it's about how your thumbs move. So people talking about, oh, expertise is why you're beating me, that is really not the case. You just got to get a little more experience in the game and play longer. You really don't have the expertise into your gear. Doing your weapons is just fine. Like, even then, your weapons aren't going to be hitting tremendously harder. It's more about your movement and your thumb play. Like, you got to know how to move around corners, use the elements in the game to your advantage. That's really where you're going to actually learn to be a better PvP player and learn to enjoy the dark zone. Learn how to bend the corner on a player and use the cars or the barrels or the wall to your advantage to make sure you got the shots around the corner and they didn't have the shots on you. People use shields, people use all kind of things, but the best thing you can do is learn how to move, learn how to avoid hazards, learn how to avoid being out in the open and taking on team fire. That's what you really, really want to value when it comes down to dark zone PvP. When it comes down to being solo or with a group, you want to make sure you're not the liability. And I'm honestly speaking from experience, since I'm like 99.6% of all IUZ casualty claims running at the doors get knocked down by 3 to 4 players, thinking that it's only one guy in the room. So I was trying to give people strategies that I didn't have when I first started the game and help players come into the dark zone and adjust to it and not just feel overwhelmed or outskilled. Learn how to play the game. There's a lot of build videos out there, but I'm going to try putting out some strategy guides and showing you guys how to move in the dark zone, what to look for, what tails a player may have. There's a lot of things that you can experience in here, and I think if we start helping the community, we can actually grow this game. This game has a lot of potential to me, and it's kind of been messed up that it's been left in the dark. With all these new changes coming, I'm looking forward to you guys getting to this game. Thank you guys for watching.
Fuck 50. I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
Dark zones. That's what they're called now. To survive, we must find out what motivates our very